Have you ever used a wooden putter? Well, I have, and I'm here to tell you about it. And there's more than meets the eye to this wooden putter. I'm Ryan Ballingy with Golf News Net. Thanks for checking out the channel once again. And today we are reviewing a wooden putter. Well, at least it's wood on the outside. We'll talk about that as we go through the course of this review. This is from a company called Timber Touch Putterworks, and this is the Woodrich Regal putter. They have 5 or 6 different models. This is their most technologically advanced putter. So they've been making these for a little while now, and this putter is about $250 or so. You can get 10% off, so I don't know what that exactly brings it all to with shipping and things like that. But they're running a sale recently. I just checked that out before we did the review. And I didn't really even know this kind of thing existed, to be honest with you. This was a, hey, this comes in your inbox, do you want to review this product type of situation. And I was intrigued enough by the idea of a wooden putter that I had to try it for myself. So, yep, sign me up. Please send it to me. I'd love to give it a try. And they did. So, as mentioned, this is the Woodrich Regal model. This is a mallet style putter. And as you can tell, there's a whole lot of wood here. This milled face is awesome. It's beautiful. It's really cool looking. It's probably the most beautiful face I've ever seen on a putter because of the contrast between the stain in the wood and the milling pattern, which you see on so many different putters, as well as the beautiful Timber Touch logo here on the corner, on the toe, or heel rather. So it's a beautiful looking putter just from the face. And then you look it over top of it, and it's a beautiful looking mallet. It's got a nice little carve out here for weight. And then you've got your kind of fang style looking mallet set up here. Now this isn't a particularly deep putter in terms of a lot of mallets. You know, a lot of mallets you're probably thinking more like that than what you've got here. Maybe this for a mid-size. This is kind of more in the maybe small to mid-size range. And it does have some depth to it. And I think that gets accentuated a little bit because of the layering look in the wood. So that's part of it, but I don't think it's particularly deep. It's got a nice sight line to it right here in the middle. And really the secret to how this putter performs happens all in here, where you see that difference in the way that it's stained. And that's because this is actually kind of a capper to what's going on the inside of the putter. So this is really the first putter from Timber Touch that is meant to be kind of a higher MOI with performance putter. So what's happening on the inside here is here across the middle, right where your alignment marker is, there is vibration dampening foam and a lighter metal. They don't specify what. Could be aluminum. I'm guessing aluminum, could be steel, but one or the other. And then in the wings here, right on the sides, your fangs, you've got denser weight. So I'm assuming, again, tungsten here, and that's what we're working with. So you've got like 40% of the weight on both of the sides and about 14% of the weight, 15% of the weight here, just kind of in that middle region. So the idea behind it's pretty simple. Move the weight to the outside just like anything else. Create MOI so that it's more stable and performs well. Good news is that since you're working with wood, it's a different kind of material, so the requirements for driving up MOI are different, right? So that's the way they've been able to put this together. It's just like you would see with any other putter that's made of metal, whether that's aluminum, steel, brass. I mean, I have a brass putter. Copper, I've used copper putters. You know, it doesn't matter the material, you create MOI in the same way, and that's how you position weight. So it actually does perform pretty well. I've been using this for 3 or 4 rounds, and in each of the rounds I've also had friends with me while playing, and they're all intrigued the second I take the putter cover off and are like wondering what I'm doing with this thing. And then I let them try it, and they all get a smile on their face. They've all had fun using it. It is a fun experience using this putter. It's a different experience using this putter. I mean, just thinking about it right off the top of the bat, like, I mean, that sounds like you're knocking on a door. That doesn't sound like your typical sound at impact with a putter, right? Different material. Sounds more like a wooden bat kind of thing. So it's a different kind of sound when you're putting, right? That's something to get used to. That's a little jarring at first, like, whoa, that's different. And then you start to realize that the performance is about the same, right? I mean, if I got out a blade or any of the like 10 putters I have sitting in this office, they putt not that differently, right? They all have different characteristics that are up to the person who created the putter and what they wanted to do and what they have the accessibility in terms of materials to create, whether that's a a small shop or a big manufacturer. It's what they choose to go with in their design. And then you work within that. And within this, they have created something, one, that's beautiful, and two, that actually has some performance capability in here by design. And the end result is a putter that I've really enjoyed using. I've holed lots of 10, 15, 20-foot putts with this thing. The thing that I have noticed in using this putter is you really need to be purposeful with your stroke, right? Wood transfers energy differently than different types of metal. So you have to hit a little bit more like you mean it with this putter, as opposed to a metal putter or a different kind of mallet, those types of things, right? You just don't have quite as much power transferred at impact. You can still generate the same power, right? But you may not get as much of it to the ball. So you've got to hit it a little bit more purposefully from every distance. You can't just baby in a 3-footer. You've got to hit it kind of like you mean it. You can't just kind of skid it. There are some times when I putt where I'm just trying to kind of skid the ball to the hole on a 3 or 4-footer. And maybe that's because it's got a certain amount of break or what have you. But with this, I really can't do that. And that's not a bad thing. Putting with purpose is a good thing. It's kind of maybe a bad habit of mine when I putt. So I'm okay with having to hit this kind of like I mean it. You can't just kind of jimmy it up to the hole and assume it's going to be just fine. It doesn't quite roll out that way off the face, and that's because of the energy transfer. However, once you get a hang of the extra distance, the change in your stroke that you need to make to be able to get the same distance as you would with whatever your gamer is, it doesn't matter what it is, and that's a change you have to make with any putter, it's really enjoyable to use. Now it does sit a little bit more on the heel, and it sits a little bit more toe up, even though this is a face balance putter. I kind of like that style. I lay my putter on the heel and have the toe up, and it works for me. If I wanted to get a little bit more upright and stand a little bit more over the ball, which I have tried to do a couple of times, it works just the same. But note that it's face balance, so it's going to benefit someone more who has a more even stroke, more straight back and through stroke necessarily than someone that comes inside to out. And that's fine. You can figure that out for yourself. But I've really enjoyed using this. It's pretty to look at. It really isn't any different than trying to acclimate yourself to a different kind of putter. It's beautiful. It's really well made, and I really, really like it. Came with me with a big grip, kind of like personalized grip. I don't really typically use this kind of size of grip, but I do like a pistol style grip or something similar in my putter, so that's been pretty nice. And maybe it helps a little bit with kind of counterbalancing the weight a little bit, so that's fine too. Nothing wrong with that. This is a 35-inch model. You can get 33, 34, 35, all your standards. They basically make them in runs, so they make them as available, and then they ship them to you as part of that run, which is great. They've been very responsive, very, very helpful. They've been a great company to work with. My only question about this moving forward is, do I need to lacquer it or poly it to kind of keep this beautiful look? As you might be able to tell, there's a little bit of grass stain here, kind of one of the corners, and that's just kind of from just normal wear and tear of playing golf on grass, and sometimes grass gets mowed and kind of leaves a little extra and can stain your stuff, right? Well, that's going to stain wood. So maybe you want to put a poly on it, just a light coat of clear poly to protect it every couple of years or so. Maybe that's the exercise, and really just on the sole, because you're not going to obviously touch the grass too often with other parts of the putter. So I probably will do that. Would this be a potential gamer putter? I think it depends on how you feel about it. I'm probably not going to game this every day of the week, right? I mean, I've got to, not to kind of puff my chest out too much, but I've got a custom putter. Like, I've got something that's dialed in and fit to my game, and you're going to pry it from my cold, dead hands. But I'm going to use this putter at least several times per year, whether that's taking it on a trip or just because I want to have something different, or I want to putt with it and just go out to the country club and go mess around on the practice screens for 20 or 30 minutes. It's a fun thing to use. What you have to decide is the practicality of that, whether you want to try to use this putter all the time, and what your use case is for it. Because if you can spend $250 or $300 on a putter that you can have just for fun, and even if you don't use it all the time, just like having it, all right, cool, awesome. But if spending $250 or $300 on a putter is a big decision for you, this may be a difficult purchase. So it kind of depends on your situation and where you are and how often you play the game and all those different factors. So I'll leave that to you. But what I will say about any putter, and I will always emphasize this, please go get fit. Go to a club champion. Go to a golf tech. Go to a fitter, a local fitter. Get on Sam Putt Lab and know things about yourself. Know how you stroke a putter. Know what your tendency is, so that when it comes time to go buy a putter, and it doesn't matter the amount of money, you know what you're looking for. You know what you need because you know how you putt. And not only will it help you in terms of fitting, but it'll also help you fix your flaws moving forward. So highly emphasize getting fit for these types of things. But regardless, the Timber Touch Putterworks people are awesome. This is a really cool product. It's unlike anything I've ever seen, and I think you'll really enjoy using it if you have that opportunity. You can check them out online, Timber Touch Putterworks. Please follow the channel. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about something like this and whether it's something you would potentially look at purchasing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.